drawn to philosophy.
Two children wake up in a labyrinth. No doors, no sky. Just endless corridors and silent walls. On every surface, rules are written. Follow the arrows, keep walking. Don't ask. At first, they obey. They march in silence. They hope there's an exit. But days become years. One child starts laughing. He jumps over arrows, draws monsters on the walls, builds forts from broken signs. The other keeps reading, studies every instruction. Then one day, he picks up a stone and starts carving his own symbols into the wall. If the maze has no meaning, he whispers, then I will give it one. Welcome to Drawn to Philosophy. Today, Sartre versus Camus. Existentialism versus absurdism. What do we do when life offers no script? Some questions don't ask for answers, they demand a response. Here's one. Does life have any meaning at all? We search for signs, we invent systems, we write scripts. But what if the walls are blank? Stay with me, because from that terrifying silence, two voices rise. One says, we should create meaning. The other, we should rebel against the lack of it. It leads to two radically different philosophies, and the next few minutes could change how you see your place in the world. Before we choose a path, let's meet the men behind the maze. Albert Camus grew up poor in colonial Algeria. His first loves were soccer, the sea, and the sun. He once said he believed in justice, but if forced to choose, he'd side with his mother over any ideology. He died in a sudden car crash, in his coat pocket. A train ticket he never used. He wasn't even meant to be in that car. Some call it fate. He might have just called it absurd. Jean-Paul Sartre, on the other hand, stared life in the eye with a pen and a scowl. He wrote plays about hell, then spent his life arguing in cafes. He turned down the Nobel Prize because, in his words, a writer should not allow himself to be turned into an institution. He believed in freedom. So much so, he made sure no one, not even he, could escape it. They weren't saints. They weren't mystics. They were two men stuck in the same maze as the rest of us, and refusing to walk it quietly. Albert Camus didn't start with faith. He started with frustration. We want life to mean something. The universe offers static. This is the absurd, the clash between our hunger for clarity and a cosmos that doesn't speak. Camus thought most people couldn't face it. So they made things up. He called that philosophical suicide, choosing illusion over honesty. His alternative? Accept the absurd. Don't flee, don't flinch, stand in the silence, and smile anyway. Sisyphus, cursed to push his rock forever, becomes his symbol. Not a victim, a rebel. Camus writes, the struggle itself toward the heights is enough to fill a man's heart. One must imagine Sisyphus happy. That line turned philosophy classrooms into battlegrounds. But here's a twist. Camus rejected the label existentialist to explain why we need to meet his former friend and eventual rival. Jean-Paul Sartre didn't think the absence of meaning was the end. He thought it was the beginning. His famous line? Existence precedes essence. We are not born with purpose. We arrive first and then write our own roles after. Sounds freeing, right? But Sartre says this freedom is a curse. Man is condemned to be free. There are no excuses, not even not choosing as a way out. And that leads to bad faith, when we lie to ourselves to avoid responsibility. Pretend we have no choice. Blame systems, fate, parents, gods. Sartre says, no, even silence is a decision. To live authentically is to own every action as if the world depended on it. Because it does. But wait, what happens when meaning becomes a banner for violence and rebellion turns into dogma? Stay with me, because that's where Camus draws the line. They were friends, cafe philosophers, World War II resistance figures, and then they broke. In The Rebel, Camus warned, when people kill in the name of meaning, they've lost it. He saw the 20th century stained by ideologies, communism, fascism, revolutions that devoured their own. Sartre, more radical, defended action over passivity. He believed refusing to act was itself a form of injustice. Camus refused to glorify blood for utopia. Sartre refused to glorify inaction in the face of suffering. At the core was this divide. Sartre: create meaning and stand by it. Camus: don't pretend the meaning is real. You should rebel, but stay honest. So who's right? Let's bring them back into the labyrinth. One child breaks the rules and laughs. He knows the system is hollow and dances anyway. That's Camus. The other picks up a stone. He carves purpose where none exists. That's Sartre. Neither child escapes the maze, but neither lives like a prisoner. So now ask yourself, what kind of person laughs in a burning theater and means it? And what kind of person builds a new script while the walls close in? This isn't just abstract theory. It's about your next hour, your next choice. You can live without meaning and still live well. You can create meaning and own it completely. The universe doesn't hand out scripts, so maybe the next line is yours to write. So next time the walls feel tight and the path unclear, will you laugh like Camus or carve like Sartre? Let us know in the comments. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more philosophical comparisons.